20 seconds.
Is this their moment? Beckham. Into Sheringham. And Solskjaer has
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? I've got a big smile on my face. Will I have that same smile on my face tomorrow morning? Well, we don't know. But look, we're going to be previewing the big game tonight against Barcelona. It's the Europa League. Yes, it's not the Champions League. But at this point in time, in Ten Hag's tenure, this is a big game. He wanted the Champions League this year. We didn't qualify last year. What can we do up against Europe's best? We saw that at the new camp. Can we seal the deal and qualify for the knockout rounds? We'll find out tonight. We're going to preview the whole thing, all the team news, all the conversations around every player. My predicted starting 11 will speak about the latest on the Qatari potential takeover of Manchester United. But you can see there's a certain man who's on the wall here specifically for today, and that is a certain Paul Scholes. I'm not sure he's actually been up on the wall before, but he's up on the wall today because we need to get that sweet Scholes energy, don't we? 2008 against Barcelona at Old Trafford, probably one of the best atmospheres that Old Trafford, kind of has ever seen. 0-0 after the first leg, doing that 1-0. We need that special atmosphere tonight. We'll run through the whole thing. Who's down here in the comments this morning? Good morning to you, Alex. I can see you there. Julie. We've got Paul. We've got Ned. Paul Bridget. Stu Backer. mufc. Robert Taylor, good morning to you. We've got Ant, we've got T, we've got Josh, we've got Gungshi, we've got the OGs, Natasha, I can see you there too. Who's on Facebook? Steve, we've got Charlie, we've got Ian Cartwright, good morning to you. Leslie, loads of you joining in. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a night tonight, isn't it? I'll be honest, I'm pretty sad that I'm not going. I'd love to be going to the game, but everything that's happening right now with United People's TV and the community that we're building, it's just works a bit intense. I'm going to the game on Sunday, looking forward to that. But I'm looking forward to getting to the point where we've built this community to the size where I can start going to a few more games because I'm missing it. And tonight's going to be an absolute scorcher. I tell you what, speaking of scorchers, what is that? Stu, how you doing, man? You've just gifted 20 memberships. Wow. What a gift to start the day. What a dude. Kieran, you're lucky enough to get one. Bilbo, Jonathan, Niall. I can't read all 20 out. And then Aaron, Aaron, I'm not seeing your name too much before in terms of gifting memberships. You're an OG of the channel. I can see your badge. I think I need to update some badges. I need to do more. I always feel like I always feel like I want to do more for the community. What am I working on at the moment? I'm finalizing that, bringing the arms back for members only. The podcast this week, by the way, if anybody listened to it, remember now, all the members, you can send in your voice notes with your questions to get answered in the podcast. You have to do it in the Telegram members only chat. But yeah, I thought that was a nice little way. I'm thinking of more things as well. Bag with a question there saying, Sam, why don't you? I'm not one for vlogs. All right. Again, this is a personal preference of how I like to watch United and what sort of content I like to do. You'll never catch me doing a watch along. I don't like them. I've never understood the concept of somebody watching me watch the game. It's a personal preference. And it seemed like you had to do it at some point when it comes to like online content around your football club. But no, I never agree with it. And I don't really agree with vlogging either. I won't be recording myself in the stadium. This is my match experience. No, I'll do a match reaction after. Sod knows what's going to happen there. Hopefully if we win as well. One thing I would say on a separate note here this morning is had sad news that John Motson's passed away. Absolute icon of commentary. Absolute icon. So I wanted to, take a moment to say rest in peace to John Motson. One of the absolute OGs of commentary, really. You want to call him that. Properly icon. He's up there with Clive Tildesley in sort of the original and the best. So, yeah, sad news indeed. 77 years old. Going over here, Jordan. Wow, thank you. Jordan gifting 5 memberships as well. Man, everyone's got the big game buzz. And I'm going to pull up this photo here. Obviously, tonight is not the Champions League, right? It's the Europa League. It doesn't have that same energy. But I'm not sure about you. And look, anybody going to the game, you can let me know your feelings, whether it's different for anybody who's actually going to Old Trafford tonight. But it feels, it's got that big game feel tonight. I think it's because of where we are under Ten Hag, what's happened so far this season, what we've got coming up on Sunday, and what beating Barcelona tonight could mean for the momentum and the confidence of this team. Chris Boyle there, exactly the man. I'm going to be bringing up those comments from Erik Ten Hag. But it does definitely feel, it's got that big game vibe tonight. We've all been, look, Old Trafford so far this season has seen Man United beat City, beat Liverpool, beat Arsenal, beat Spurs. Can we do it against Barcelona? Of the two ties, come on. Nou Camp was the harder of the two on paper. And I'm not sure what sort of game you're expecting, but I tell you what, I think it's going to probably mirror the Spurs type of performance, won't it? Remember that performance there where United went absolutely wild. It was a game where Fred really showed himself as one of the best in the world in those pressing positions. I'm going to run through my predicted starting 11, and we can have a little conversation around Fred. Minty saying, how good was it seeing Erik Ten Hag with Fergie? He spoke about him in his press conference. Ross, you're saying you're going there tonight. Ten Hag just put the message out, and Ten Hag did put the message out. Old Trafford tonight really can be that, it's cliche, but cliches exist because they've occurred so many times over so many years that it's got some truth to it. And it is a cliche that the fans can be a 12th man, but they really genuinely can be. Alex, I'm going to be speaking about that white paper later on. Remember, I said that this is going to be a very important part of Manchester United's takeover. This white paper that's being released has been confirmed today by the government. I'll run through that a little bit later in the show. I'm looking forward to it. Let me see what you're saying so far in the predictions on the polls, right? Because I've got the poll up there. We've had nearly 700 votes straight away. Wow. You are all feeling confident down there. 95% of you are saying that you think United are going to be going through. That's more than I would have predicted. But I tell you what, I do have an air of confidence tonight. Sometimes when we went into the Liverpool game, Old Trafford, that big game nervousness, I felt we could do it. I felt we could do something better than what we saw against Brighton and Brentford, but I didn't really have like an overwhelming amount of confidence. City, I felt like we could go in there and compete against City, but still I felt, I wasn't sure. Obviously, we won both of those. Arsenal, I always felt we could do Arsenal at Old Trafford. Doesn't really change anything. But tonight against Barcelona, as I said, that right up there they're in the top 3 teams in Europe right now in form, for sure. But I've got that confidence. Gungshi, I can see you down there as well, man. What an absolute G. Gungshi, I need to find a better way of being able to get in contact with you. Can you reach out to my email? I'd love to, I don't know, bring you on the podcast at some point, bring your questions in. Absolute G. You've been here right since the very, very start. Nick, you're saying this, and this is a big thing, man. Absolutely. Let me bring that back up there. We've only lost to Brighton at home in the first game of the season, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, we've won 14 out of our last 15 at Old Trafford. And that other game was, of course, the game against Leeds, where we came from 2-0 down to get the 2-2 draw. Old Trafford is a bit of a fortress again so far this season. I try not to use that phrasing yet. It's 23rd of Feb. All right. But for everything that's come to Old Trafford this season, Old Trafford's just slapped it back. City, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal. Hopefully we do the same to Chelsea when they come. And hopefully we do the same tonight against Barcelona. Now, Sociedad was a game where it didn't happen. And we're playing this game because of that stupid performance against Sociedad. Well, for 3 reasons. First of all, we lost to Sociedad. Second of all, it shouldn't have been a penalty after Martinez hit his knee then his arm. And that's pretty much the end. There's not 3 reasons. There's actually 2 reasons. But I'm excited for it. I'm going to keep checking the poll and seeing what you're all saying. We've got 750 votes and 95% of you. Warren, man, you've joined in as well. Warren G is indeed regulating down here in the comments. Someone needs to be Nate Dogg. in that partnership. You can let me know who Nate Dogg should be. Sihaj, Kajel, the ferocious Eminem is an interesting name. And Ali Mohammed, there's plenty more down there. You've been gifted one by everyone. Say thank you very much to Warren, man. Honestly, what a community. At some point, YouTube will have to do a case study on it. Let's run through now the comments from Ten Hag ahead of the game, the team news ahead of the game, my predicted 11 ahead of the game. There's so much more to talk about. It's good. This is what Ten Hag said. He goes, we all want to play big games. When we were young, we dreamed of it. We're now in that position. We will really enjoy it. We're excited and we want to match the best. And Ten Hag has, as I said, he's got fans believing. And I imagine this must be, well, it is, right? You can see it in how they're playing it. It's affecting these players too. They all are starting to believe more in themselves. And that's leading to these sorts of results, these sorts of performances. Man United right now are free scoring. Let me have a look at our recent games, right? Man United recent results, because I'm pretty sure we're scoring like 2+ in most games now. Let's have a look. Let's pull this up on screen. 1 second here. Right. Here we go. In terms of how we are from an attacking sense, okay, let's pull this up on screen. Last 2 games, 3 goals scored against Leicester. Before that, 2 against Barca. Before that, 2 against Leeds, 2 against Leeds, 2 against Palace, 2 against Forest, 3 against Reading, 3 against Forest, 2 against Arsenal. Last time we scored only 1 goal in a game was over a month ago. And in between that, we played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. 9 consecutive games. I knew it was good. I didn't know it was that good. 9 consecutive games where Man United have scored 2 or more goals. And I tell you what, we could do with a couple of the Scholesy bangers tonight. If Casemiro, by the way, Casemiro's birthday tonight, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem for Barcelona. And I'm definitely playing what will always be, I think, my favorite video for this entire season.
Casemiro, la 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 la. Casemiro, la 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 la. Ni él se lo cree, que remate, pateó a lo Bruno Fernandes.
You can't help but just sing along to that. Man, I love that tune. That needs to become a chant. It seriously needs to become a chant. But Ten Hag's not sort of he's not getting carried away, I suppose, with it, right? And he's focused on the end game. It's not about credit. It's about trophies. We have to keep in the same mindset. Every day we want to give a better version of ourselves. Tomorrow, we have to give the best performance of the season, and we believe in it. Hey, look, management is not an easy thing. If you've ever had to manage people in any sort of career or whatever you're doing, whether it's 1 person, 50 people, or 100 people, it's hard to manage people because you have to have the ability to have that long-term vision, the end game. We want to win titles and trophies. But if Ten Hag had just had that vision, that long-term vision, when he came into this United team, it would have been very difficult to portray that across to the players. He goes, look, we want to win titles and trophies. And look, we are, man. We're not in the Champions League anymore. Confidence at an all-time low. And it's about having those small goals. Every single day, we want to be a better version of ourselves. Be better today than you were yesterday. Do that 50 days in a row, and all of a sudden, compare where you were at the start to where you are now. Ten Hag really clearly is a very, very good manager. Motivation-wise, he's extremely knowledgeable from a tactical perspective. He's just a good manager. Jordan, we get to 500k members. I'll give whoever a car of their choice, a Hot Wheels one. Hot Wheels leading the way. I never had Hot Wheels as a kid. I bike a mice from Mars. We put had a little string you put in the back wheel and then it flew off. That was good fun. Connor, yeah, we did speak about John Motson. Rest in peace, indeed, to him. Josh, you think down there that we're going to see a Sabitzer banger from 25 yards? Hey, look, man, if we're going to see Sabitzer's first goal, I wouldn't mind it being an absolute corker tonight, man. I would not mind that being a corker. Veghorst to score tonight, says Ashlyn. What's all your predictions about how the game's going to go? We'll run through the team news, but look at this week we've got. Just look at these games we've got coming up. We've got Barca tonight. We've got Newcastle in the Cup. final on Sunday. Then we've got West Ham in the FA Cup 5th round. Then we've got Anfield. Oi, oi, oi. That game against Liverpool at Anfield. We're trying to think of the best. Obviously, Van Gaal would matter, right? That was, I mean, it still is. I'm not sure it's going to get beaten. But we're going to Anfield when they have got the leakiest defense in the world. They don't really have a midfield at this moment in time. And we've got Casemiro. We've got tonight, it might be Casemiro and Sabitzer for the first time together. Whew. Judy, you think it's going to be 2-1 Rashford first? 2-1 Sabitzer Rocket, says Alex. 2-1 says Mike Crammon. 3-0 against Newcastle. Yes, please. 3-0 against Newcastle. In terms of team news, right? Team selection. Laurie Whitwell's confirmed here. Maguire and Anthony are both available. Martial is not available. He's back so Martial's back training on the pitch. That was released yesterday, right? Footage of that. Martial, I've told you, from a personal perspective, as a fan, I've just parked my opinion on Martial. From where this football club is going and the momentum that we've got, we cannot afford any passengers. And Martial is, unfortunately, this season has once again proved that because of it. Look, it's unfortunate, but there's so many players that this has happened to over the years. Phil Jones is obviously a prime example at United, but injuries have just stopped Martial. Weghorst has already played more minutes than him this season. That's mad. Just say that. That's absolutely mad when you say that stat, but it's completely and utterly true. Weghorst has played more minutes than us. Warren, what are you saying, sir? Who thank when it came down to decide who to thank between Ten Hag and Poch? Well, logic, I suppose. Poch would have been the easiest and the safest option. Ish. Given here, he had Premier League experience. There were certain boxes that Poch ticked that Ten Hag didn't. But there were plenty of other boxes that Ten Hag ticked that Poch didn't. Ola, thank you very much for the super sticker. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure it's super. Martial score against Newcastle. I don't think Martial will start in that game. Away goals, Yopi, they don't count at all anymore. UEFA took those out. But the most important thing that we need to speak about ahead of tonight, Garnacho's new trim. He's gone straight up, full bleach blonde, like prime Slim Shady. What do you think of the haircut? Did you see the video? He was like training and Anthony just swiped his hat off and he's like, fuck's sake. Couldn't do anything about it. It's quite funny. But Garnacho, according to the Times now, I'll cover that a little bit later in the show, on the verge of signing a 5-year contract. That's a big. Whoa, what's going on down here with the memberships? Jeez. Ibrahim, you've gifted 20. Wow. Gifted 20 as well. That is incredible. Ibrahim, man. Thank you so much. And I say it to everyone. I like telling you about the plans. I'm bringing somebody on now to help me from a video production perspective. All the videos that I do, like the Glazers Out protest videos. I do them all myself. They're quite time consuming. They're quite difficult to do and to do properly. I'm bringing somebody on, hopefully, to start making those and bringing somebody on to hopefully do one after the final, depending on what the result is. So that's a little teaser for anyone joining in this morning. But all your gifts are helping me, I suppose, branch out and make the United People's TV community bigger and better. So big up to all of you, man. Paul, you're saying, I have to say, months ago, we watched decent football. Months we watched decent football. At last, it's like putting it to top teams. It took us this long to say this. Get the Glaciers out of our club. Move, you big old Glacier. Get out of our club. I'll speak about the Glazers a little bit later in the show. And it's the only thing we really wanted, right? No, it's not the only thing we wanted. It was the minimum we wanted. It was for United to be competing this season. That's what we missed. Well, ultimately, what we missed is winning the Premier League and the Champions League. But in terms of stage one, this season we would have settled if we were just competing in all these big games. Yeah, we may have come up short in some of these games, but as long as we were competing, I think a lot of us would have settled for that in sort of stage one of this rebuild. But we've gone past that. We've beaten City. We've beaten Liverpool. We've beaten Arsenal. We've beaten Spurs. We're in this game. We're in a cup final. We're definitely further ahead than where I thought we would be. And that's just all down to the incredible work that Ten Hag has done. Edwin, you've joined as a member as well. Let me know where you're watching from. And Mike, man, you've gifted 5 as well. Honestly, if this is what it is today, tomorrow is going to be wild here on this stream if we can get 3 points tonight and get that Scholes banger. But let's have a quick look at some training photos. There's Maguire in training. I don't think he'll be starting no matter how fast he runs or can't run. There's Garnacho and Luke Shaw. Now, Anthony is back and available. That's going to give United a good option from the right wing. And also for Kunda Palistri. We've got some talented wingers in this squad now, man. And we're going to be adding Amad Diallo back into it too. Man, that is so blonde. That is ridiculously blonde. Zidane Iqbal kind of faded into the background since the preseason. Scott McTominay, I thought he was pretty damn good when he came on against Leicester. Good cameo. Good cameo from Scott McTominay. I think so anyway. Don't know whether he's going to be here next season. Wan-Bissaka there with Brandon Williams. Weghorst. Do you reckon Weghorst is scoring tonight? Type yes or no. Obviously, he's only scored 1. I think it was away at Forest. There's no doubt that, in my opinion anyway, there's no doubt that Weghorst is helping this team. We're averaging 2 goals a game with Weghorst in the team. All right. As an overall team, we're better. From a finishing perspective, he's a little bit weak. He's not scoring enough. Sure. But Man United are winning. That's the most important thing. Shane, you don't think he'll score. But Lee, you do. Phil Foster, you do. Ferdinand, you say yes as well. Yes. John, you're saying yes. Look. Do I think he will score? I hope he does. I hope. I personally wouldn't put a tenner on him to score. Personally. But I do think he's going to have a positive impact on this team. Now, let's run through this team together, all right? This is my predicted 11, and you can let me know whether you agree, if there's certain positions that you agree or disagree with, right? I've gone for a back 5 of De Gea with Shaw, Dalot, Varane, and Martinez. The only question mark there you've got is who starts at right back. Is it going to be Diogo Dalot or is it going to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Nah, there's a conversation you can have there. But other than that, it's a pretty settled back 5. For the midfield 3, I went for Casemiro with Sabitzer. And Weghorst. And I tell you, and the front 3, in my opinion, the front 3 is quite obvious. Sancho on the left, Rashford through the middle, Bruno on the right. Now, Ten Hag does have options. He honestly has options galore. He could play Sancho in the number 10. He could play Bruno in the number 10. He could play Rashford on the left-hand side with Weghorst up front. He could play Bruno in the number 10 with... That front 3 and 4 is massively interchangeable. And it will be across the course of the 90 minutes, right? So even if I've got these players down in this position now, I guarantee you 10 minutes in, they're going to be chopping and changing. Rashford might shift a little bit left. Sancho going through the middle. You're like, who do you mark? Makes it very difficult for teams. But something that I think I've been thinking about and speaking about with a few guys, and it's kind of something I could see happening, right? And that's this. You could well see this man come in. Right? Fred against Spurs this season, or just Spurs, the game against Spurs at Old Trafford. Wow, man. I mean, that was one of the best games that we've seen in a long time, best overall performances. And Fred was a key element of that. Now, if we're thinking about what we did against Man City and what worked, what really worked was Fred playing. He actually played in a bit of a deeper role. But Fred just being on De Bruyne, right? Now, the only reason I'm putting... You could, for example, you could switch that there if you really wanted to. You could probably place Sabitzer a little bit further forward, Fred in that midfield position. The only reason I'm putting Fred a little bit further forward, this isn't from an attacking perspective, really. That would basically be Fred going in and doing a man-marking job on De Jong. But what do you think about that? All right. Do you think there's any chance that, because look, we did it against City with De Bruyne and it worked. De Jong wasn't very good in the first leg. I guarantee you De Jong will be a better player tonight. 1,000,000%. Obviously, they got Busquets back too. But do you think maybe Fred goes in there and just tries to squeeze the space away from De Jong? Let me see what you're saying in the comments. Fred is an option. Jordan, you says, but I wouldn't start him or McTominay. Fred did well against Barca in the first leg. He starts over Sabitzer. Fred will start against Newcastle, so maybe the bench tonight. I suppose you ever got cup final in 3 days. It's hard to look ahead to that when you got Barcelona tonight, isn't it? Fred could do the Park job. Yeah, Park on Pirlo, Herrera on Hazard. There's certain occasions where that can happen. And you know what Ten Hag does? He kind of keeps his cards close to his chest. So my prediction is that we'll see Weghorst there, but I really wouldn't be surprised to see Fred starting there. All right. And I know that you're all slightly scarred by watching Fred in the first half against Leicester and the bad things about his season. When he's on form and he's playing further up and he's playing in an aggressive press, Fred is very good. It worked against City and De Bruyne. It worked against Spurs. I think it worked from an attacking perspective. It worked against Barca. And that's why we won the ball back so often. You could play Sancho in that role, but I think Sancho out on the left-hand side. I don't know. There's a lot of interchangeable parts inside that front four, and a kind of a testament to Ten Hag's management, the fact that we do have so many options. And Sancho's come back in and just been such a good option. Nick, fucking hell, nearly gifted 100 memberships. Honestly, you're all, man, Alex, you've joined in as well. All of you, man. All of you. You're taking this community, this channel, somewhere I never thought it could be, and we're only getting started. We've been crap. I'm saying the channel, although the channel sometimes. Man United have been crap for so long. So long. And finally, we're heading in the right direction. And what a time for this community to really sort of be pushing upwards. Big up to everyone, man. Drop a like on the video for the community. Seriously. Happy birthday indeed to the main man himself. I'm looking forward to seeing Casemiro tonight. I'm just looking forward to it. Chris, you're right. It doesn't, not as much as that, but it does have that feeling of a huge game. Now, of course, someone else that we're going to be looking towards tonight is the man himself. I'm going to say a big shout out to Bet Victor for supporting this channel. And let's have a quick conversation about Marcus Rashford. How good do you think he is right now? Is he the best player in Europe on form? Let's have a conversation quick.
I think people get confused with the best striker at the moment and like just the best striker in general. I think on form is quite possibly one of the best player in Europe at the moment. Yeah. I don't think there's an argument there. I think no one scored more goals than him since the World Cup break. But to be the best player in the world, that's a little bit different. And I think he's got to do a lot more to be able to, to be alongside some of those names and do it on a consistent basis. But
I think Rashford is easily the best player in Europe right now on form. I think Barcelona are going to be... Xavi's going to have his whiteboard and Rashford's name's going to be circled twice. They're going to try and figure out how to stop him. Now, the good thing about that is I think Rashford is, at this moment in time, he's capable of just causing problems left, right, and centre. But because they're going to have that focus on Rashford, it will probably open up opportunities for the other players that they can take advantage of. Alex, you're saying on form, definitely the best in Europe. And you're saying goals aside, he's been quiet. I would probably slightly disagree with that. But what, you're expecting him to be a full-on 90 minutes flat-out player? I mean, players don't do that. You can't do that every 3 games. And maybe you're right, it's just a little bit of tiredness. I mean, he's a little bit more than all right, isn't he? Stu, you're saying on form, no one's close to him. I don't think anybody is close to him. Now, I just dropped a link to the full video over on the Bet Victor channel. If you could, I've left a comment on there. Just head over there and drop a like on my comment. Goes to show that community there is helping. You should put a poll up. Now, we've got a poll up already. What's the poll saying? We have got 1,500 votes and still 95% of you think that Manchester United are going to go through. Of course, there's no away goals tonight. So that doesn't play into the account. And if you're looking at what happened between Real Madrid and Liverpool, right, is probably an example of why UEFA got rid of away goals. If away goals still existed, that game there, Liverpool know that they just don't concede. Don't concede the away goals. It would have been a lot more of a tighter defense because it was just an open door. Whoever scores more over 2 legs wins effectively now. it made a crazy game of football. It did make a crazy game of football. And tonight, that's a little something that niggling at the back of my mind is that I'm a little bit worried about how full tilt it's going to be. But we made it full tilt at the new camp. We absolutely made it full tilt at the new camp. And we took control of it. I'd say over the course of 90 minutes, we controlled more of that game. And we can do the exact same tonight. At Old Trafford, we should be the team dictating that tempo. And I think it's going to be very, very fast from the very start. Man, look at that. 7 Samurai. Wow. I'm going to call you 10 Samurai from now on. You've joined in as well. Honestly. I need to write down different things I need to say now because you've made me run out of superlatives as a community. It's just amazing. Jay, Vagan, Adiolapo, Sprite, Leo. Good morning to you. Warren, you're asking for any news around the takeover. I will be running through that very shortly. There's still a couple more things I want to speak about with the game tonight. One thing I would say, the 1958, making it clear what Manchester United fans want. And this is so crucial. All right. I'm going to be speaking a little bit about the takeover. Not very long, next 5 minutes or so. So many investment hedge funds looking to try and dig their claws into Manchester United and try and make a quick buck out of it. That's basically what the Glazers did for 17 years, right? Full sale, full takeover is what Manchester United need. None of this semi-investment crap. None of this minority takeover. None of this investment hedge fund. Full sale to a new owner. That is what Manchester United need. And that's one thing that we can all agree on, right? Whether or not you agree on which owner it should be, well, that's something different altogether. Alex, Madon, gifting 5. Michael, Mo, Peter, Dan, and Odegrass. You are the lucky 5 there, indeed. I'll tell you what, man. As I said, if this shows the excitement that we've got as a community, the excitement we've all got for tonight. And I'll tell you what happened yesterday, and this was class, man. A really good set of photos here. Look who's back at Carrington. Robin Van Persie. He's there greeting Garnacho. Look at the smiles and everyone as they meet him. Look at that. Doesn't that take you back? Nearly 10 years. Damn, that's sad, isn't it? Nearly 10 years since they lifted the title. Last time Man United did. That was a long, old time ago. But it's good to see them back reunited. Van Persie and De Gea. You got Van Persie there, Weghorst and Pellistri. Everybody wants a piece of him. And look, if Weghorst's going to score tonight, he's got that sweet Dutch energy from Van Persie. That's Malacia. Yeah, that's probably my favorite photo. Look at that. Look at the smile on the faces. That requires a zoom in. Look at that bad boy. What is not to love about that photo there? And this is just, it's the vibe around energy. The vibe around United at the moment and the energy. Man, it's just good to see United being managed properly. To see these players all believing in what their manager is telling them, and everything from a footballing perspective is heading in the right direction. Jibak, you're saying, been saying it all along, we need to know the motivation for each bidder for owning United rather than where they come from. It's a big thing, Jibak. I've ran through the 2 bids from Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and from Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani and the Qatari side of things. Now, unfortunately, we won't really know. We're going to have to make our own interpretation as to what their true intentions are. They're not going to come out and say, hey, we're just using this because we want to try and make Qatar look a little bit better. Or we're just using this because ideally we want to turn this 6 billion into 9 billion within 6 years. We have to make our own interpretations, really. But that's a quality photo there. And I think we can probably move on in a second now to talk about the takeover and a little bit of news on that. Yes, we can. I think there's been some more gifted memberships, man. Look at that as well. Vicky, you're gifting 5, and Anthony as well. And Nuri. No, is it Nurl or Nuri? I can't see. I think it's Nuri. My word. I can't wait to do it. We need to do a meetup at some point. The meetup is going to be absolutely fantastic. Vicky, as you're right to say down there, mods, if you can share the links, please. Anybody who's a new member, please go on the YouTube community tab and join the members only group on Telegram. I don't think there's so many memberships that get gifted, but not enough of you. There's so many more of you I know that could join that group. Please do, because in there I ask for your help. There's stuff in there that's members only that you won't see. And now that you are a member, you can be part of that. Going to start running like weekly, not quizzes, but asking you who you want on the mannequin as well. That's gonna be there as for members only. There's so many more things. Jordan, they want the Hot Wheels, dude. It's your fault today, Jordan. It's your fault. Everyone loves Hot Wheels. But you know what I was talking about there, from the 1958, full sale only, right? And then we hear stories like this. That this is coming from Reuters, okay? And at Ares, sod knows. It's another investment firm. You know, Elliott Group Management, okay? Those previous owners of AC Milan, the big investment firm. I think their assets that they're in control of are in excess of $400 billion. I think. I don't know what they're making up, but they've got a lot of dough that they're in control of. Ares is the exact same thing. I don't particularly feel that it is an individual bid. It won't be them going for the club. It will be them saying, look, if anybody needs financing, come on down. We'll give you money to buy United. We don't really care. We just want to make some money. Opportunity to make money. They're looking at United as a stock, effectively, saying, right, how much is this worth now? If I leave it in here for 5 years, what could I expect to get back? Well, there you go. I'll do that then. That's effectively what they are going to look at United as. Same with Elliott Group Management. And the worst case scenario is the Glazers staying and finding someone like this that doesn't really care about the running of the club, that just wants to make a quick buck. Oak Tree Capital as well. These are all the investment firms coming out. The names are now coming out. You know how we knew, I covered it early this week, saying there were 2 official bids for United from the Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani and the Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos. They're the 2 official bids. And the ones that were behind the scenes, they're all these investment firms coming out now. Oak Tree Capital, Elliott Group Management, Ares. Doesn't really matter. Who cares what the name is? These are the people that we have to avoid without a shadow of a doubt. The super chat there from Nick, let me not miss that, saying 130 gifted memberships in half an hour. Man, seriously, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to sort of explain it anymore. I don't know how to describe what people are doing. Ricky, you've gifted 10, and Chris, you've gifted. Honestly, I need to do more giveaways. That's what I need to do. I've actually got something lined up. I'm not going to announce what it is now because it's going to get people way too excited. But trust me when I say I've got a seriously good monthly giveaway plan started. I'm hoping to have it ready to start at the beginning of March. And yeah, you definitely want to be involved in this one. So, man, Dom as well. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. I'm just going to have a drink. And it's only water. I mean, it is an absolute bombshell. Or doing what Or does. And I've said this to everybody, and I will reiterate this one point. Like, the generosity is off the scale, and it's the greatest compliment you can ever give to this community. And Ian, I mean that in the politest way possible. You are mad. This is crazy. But it's a privilege to be the person that sort of created this community that, well, I opened the door. You all came in. That's effectively what's happened. And everyone's like-minded and everyone wants what is best for the club. And because there's so much noise online, maybe that's, I suppose, what you've grown, what the affinity that you have with the community. Because there's so many people that are like-minded like you. But really, there's nearly 200 new members in one stream. What am I supposed to say or do? But please, all of you, go to that community tab, join the Telegram community, and come in there. Because it's even better when you come in there too. But my dude, man, anybody who gifts and anybody who supports the channel, even if it's just a little like on the video, that's supporting the community. Going the whole way up to being the absolute don of dons and gifting 50. Everybody support the channel however you want to. All of it makes such a big difference. It's amazing. 7, you're saying, Sam, realistically, how much do you think the final valuation of the club will drop once they have to open up the detailed books for the bidders? Well, Man United's financials is a really good question there from Sam, right? Man United's financials are in a dire state. We've lost in excess of 230 million, I think, over the last 3 years. And I don't think that's going to get much better in the next set of accounts, because the next set of accounts are going to account for the fact that we've got Europa League football. I think the previous ones might have. Man United are not in a good place. Our commercial operation has stagnated since basically 2016. It's kind of flatlined, completely flatlined. The financials really are just not in a good place. I imagine that might affect the level of the bid, but the Glazers are greedy. So ultimately, the Glazers are greedy. They don't, even if everything is against them, right? And this, I was going to pull this up to speak about it from Laurie. I'll speak about it now. The Glazers are just greedy. So much money has left the club. There are ifs and buts about the Glazers, right? If the Glazers didn't take $1.5 billion out of the club, you know, if the Premier League actually genuinely had a fit and proper owners test, they would never have taken over the club. If leverage buyouts were illegal, they would never have got the club. There's tons and tons of ifs. And there's more, and there's plenty of ifs now about if a Qatari takeover happens, if an Ineos takeover happens. And we're in uncharted territory, I suppose. Is it uncharted territory? I don't know whether I would call it uncharted territory. But it's crazy. It really, really is crazy, man. It really is mad. Look, Xavi was actually speaking about it. Now, Xavi, of course, who managed, if I'm correct, he did manage in Qatar, didn't he? Let me see what Xavi's Wikipedia is saying. I'm pretty sure he managed in Qatar for a couple of years. Wasn't that where Barcelona brought him back from? Al Sadd for 4 years. Is that Qatar? Yeah, there you go. He managed in Qatar for 4 years. So Xavi has obviously got a closer connection to Qatar than your average football manager, right? I actually played in Qatar as well. This is what he said about Sheikh Hamad bin Jassim bin Jaber Al Thani. I swear they've added more names in there. Anyway, this is what he said. I have a good relationship with the Sheikh, and he's a serious, responsible person. I think he would do a good job and be a very good option for United. Ben Hodgson, there you go. Worked there for 6, managed for 4 years. Right? He's not there for longer than I actually thought he was. Xavi's given it the thumbs up. And there will no doubt continue. There will be more scrutiny around this. As I said, I've got more interviews lined up where I'm going to be scrutinizing both sides. I'm probably just going to let the drama of this week unfold from a footballing perspective before I can then take another step back and say, right, here we go. We've got a little bit of time now. Because now all the craziness of last week with all the bids going in, that was all covered. This week, a big focus on the football, Barcelona and the cup final. Next week, we can then take another side step and say, right, okay, let's really try and scrutinize these bids. Jude, that's a really nice comment from you there. And I think that's the feeling I get from so many people, man, is maybe something like this didn't exist online up until this point. There's obviously, like, credit to them. Look, the United Stand have built an absolutely huge channel. Hard work, I know. Graft has gone into that, I know. And congratulations to them. And Stretford Paddock and what they've done. This isn't tribalism. It's not saying if you're here, you can't be there, and then we've got to start a war. That's not the case. And anybody who's followed me on United People's TV, you know I've never been involved in any sort of beef, any sort of bollocks. I've never got into a spat with anybody because it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. And I think eventually that's sort of risen to the top. It took longer, but I think the organic growth of it and the natural side of things are creating just what is a wonderful chat. My God, I'm going to go have a lie down. What is going on here, man? Nuri, you just gifted 10, but 7 Samurai has joined the Fable 50 gang. You already gifted some early this morning, Matt. Nah, I'm gone. Dominic's just gifted 50. I'm gone. What am I supposed to do? I don't know what to say. I feel like this is going to be one of those like YouTube videos that gets users saying you can get your members to give gifts. Look at what United people. Oh, mate, I don't know what's going on. It is. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Dominic. Thank you to Seven. Thank you to Spence and every single person here today. Man, this is a record that will not be broken. And it's just a Thursday. It's a preview for the Barcelona game. Ah, man, I can't wait to start giving more back to this community. Trust me when I say your membership will not be wasted. That's what I will say. I will continue to do. We've got 2 podcasts a week coming out now. I'm here every single day, Monday to Friday. What a privilege to be in charge of this community. But you are the soldiers of it all, man. Thank you so much. You made me stand up. I need to go and have a drink. It's 10:48 on a Thursday morning. I'm going to go and have a drink. I'm not going to have a drink. I'll have some water. We've got a big game tonight. And I haven't even moved on to, I mean, it's kind of a bit boring now speaking about this. But you know full well that I've been speaking about how significant I think this is going to be when it comes to the takeover of Manchester United. It's just at the time that we're going through our takeover is when the football regulator and the white paper is coming out. It's been confirmed today from the government that white paper is coming through. And look, these are the main points from this. All right. The main purpose of this new regulator is to stop English clubs from joining closed shop competitions, which are judged to harm the domestic game, preventing a repeat of financial failings seen at numerous clubs such as Bury and Macclesfield, introducing a more stringent owners and directors test to protect clubs and fans, giving fans a power to stop owners changing a club's name, badge, and traditional kit colours, and ensuring a fair distribution of money that filters down through the English football pyramid. It's something that is designed, in theory, to protect the integrity of football inside the UK. We know it's not too little too late, all right? But it is late. This is years overdue. Years overdue. But it's coming out now. Seven Samurai saying, Sam, this is all a testament to the amazing content you put out, my friend. We love this community and enjoy giving it back. God bless you and United. Seven Samurai, man. Thank you very much. And all you're saying, good job. Everyone who's gifted memberships, whether it's 1 or 50, enjoy the channel and join the Telegram. And remember, it's only one. Yeah. To all of you, as I said, it is the greatest privilege ever that I've had creating this community. The hard work has paid off completely because of the community that's been created. And the most exciting thing about all of this is we are quite literally at the beginning of this. This is the year. This is 7 months in to Ten Hag. We haven't even won a trophy yet. But it's because United, it feels like we're coming back. It feels like we are. And you can see it in the fans. You can see it everywhere. And don't say it is. Oh, my God, it is. Come on. Oh, my days. Oh, no. This is definitely breaking YouTube records all over the shop, man. Man, or you've done it twice. And Dominic, you've done it twice. Mate, this is bombs. This is bombs all day long. There's only one thing I can possibly do at this point, honestly.
We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Someone down there, Natasha, you got it right. I'm absolutely stumped. Unbelievable. All of you, legends, and so is Barry. He was on the mannequin last week. I need to get Barry on this. Barry's going to get on the stream at some point. I had so many more things I can't be bothered to speak about Jude Bellingham now. Jude Bellingham, Liverpool's #1 target. Man United might be in for him. There you go. Spoke about Jude Bellingham for 3 seconds. But look, to finish on this, to finish off what is an unbelievable stream, an unbelievable community. And that word right there, that man right there in this game, I think that was a mural before we played Barca. I'm pretty sure it was. Everybody's starting to believe again. Losing against Barcelona tonight doesn't change that. All right? Beating Barcelona tonight, 3 days before our first cup final, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to go to that final on Sunday. I'm privileged I got a ticket. It's going to be 90,000 there, 30-odd thousand United fans, 30,000 Geordies. And at the point where we are as a club, I think that atmosphere, that occasion is going to be one that gets remembered by United fans for a long, long time. John, you've gifted 10 as well, man. Thank you so much. Honestly, if I had to try and read all the members' names out right now, this would be like a 4-hour stream. It's unbelievable. But look, everybody who's asking for the updates on the takeover, I've spoken to Ben Jacobs. I'm going to be interviewing him probably maybe tomorrow, maybe on Saturday, in terms of what's going on behind the scenes. There's not an update per se, but don't expect updates every day. This is a multi-billion pounds purchase. We're at stage 1. The door's open, the bids are in. At this point, the Rain Group are deciding with the Glazers, okay, these are the bids we have. Who do we allow to have the full financials? Once they either agree or disagree on that, whether they want Ineos and Qatar and Al Thani to see those, that's when it goes to the next level. And then at that point, we don't know how long that because that is where the real due diligence takes place. And due diligence is when you have all the financials in front of you, you match it all up to what Man United are saying, and you go, right, okay, based on everything that we now have in front of us, this is our offer. And that's where the firm offers go in. That's basically the point where we're at now. I'm going to speak to Ben Jacobs to try and give you a bit of an update. Robert, you're asking, Sam, did you get the winner of the Wembley tickets? Yep, that is all sorted. And look, you need to let me know, right, what you want the next giveaway to be. Because the next giveaway's got to be even bigger and better, isn't it? My word indeed. What a day. What a stream. And what a game it's going to be tonight. Anybody who's going, all right, enjoy yourself. Paul, you've just gifted 5, and Nick as well, man. All of you. There's so many regular faces. I hope you all do feel like that, man. I hope you all do feel that, maybe you found the community that you've been looking for online for United fans. If that is the case, get your ass inside that Telegram community, the members only chat. It gets even better. Europa League final tickets. Ooh, I tell you what, I definitely have already booked my hotel for that. Look, it's free cancellation. It's a smart play. But hopefully, if we get through this tonight, I'll tell you what, Man United are going to be one of the favourites for that tournament. Enjoy yourselves. If you're going to the game, soak that atmosphere up. I think tonight's going to be very, very special. But that stream itself, man, was absolutely mind-blowing. That's a record that I don't think will ever be beaten. And look, it's happened on a Thursday before a Barcelona game. This community, I think, is a reflection of the genuine belief that is coming back in United fans. Thank you all so much, everybody, for joining in tonight. Whether it's 1 membership, whether it's 50, whether it's just leaving a comment, whether it's dropping a like. Anything you do to support the community, you do what you can do, and you work within your own means. And to anybody who has, man, love you all. And if we beat Barcelona tonight, hype level is going to go up to 100. Really, really well.